G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists do what they do.
Well, hi folks, and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, we are back in America and we're in Los Angeles, and we are at the beautiful home of an amazing lady who has had an incredible life. Gayle Garner Roski, welcome to Colour in Your Life.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be in your home. Gayle's actually a watercolour artist and really focuses a lot on the Los Angeles area, but when you see the huge amount of work that she's actually done in her travels around the world, and sort of when you step inside Gayle's home and you see the history of her and her fabulous husband Ed, you literally have a myriad of adventures that you can't possibly even describe. And your life as an adventurer and an artist, I mean, how do you sort of combine that together?
Oh, I think life is an adventure, and I think art is part of it. But I will tell you that when I get involved with adventure and it becomes too hard for me, I take out my paints and I do a little plein air painting, and it calms me down immediately. Now, I have a husband that oftentimes says to me, he says, oh, this climb up this mountain is only a couple of hours, and it becomes 7. And then I get a little bit angry, and then he says, get out your paints. Here's a nice river or something. Sit down and paint. And it just calms me down.
That's fantastic. And it's your art really is a journey of life. I mean, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be watching Gayle actually work on a painting that she's doing of one of the many books that she's done. And this is about Polynesian navigation across the world. And we're going to be working on one piece on that today. But there are so many things that you can say about Gayle and the journey. We're going to go through that. I mean, you could be here for days trying to put this together, but I'm going to step out a shot and then we're going to let you take over with what you do. And honestly, you are going to have an absolutely fascinating journey with this lady, so come along for the ride. Okay, Gayle, well, you have already made a start on one of the pieces out of the Polynesian navigation book that you're doing. Where do we go through from here? I mean, what techniques are you actually going to be using today?
Well, I did a wash all over. So I wet all of this 300-pound paper, and I use hot press. And the reason is I can control it better, and for publishing, they prefer it. Also, you might want to know that this paper is 1.5 times the size of the book. I started out with doubling it, but it was way too much painting to do. So I've done 1.5 times because it reduces down and looks much better. Okay, so then I did a total wash, a wet of this paper. Of course, the brush that I use is this, I don't know what they're called, hack maybe, brush, and wet it all down. And then I took several colors of blue and put them together, and lavender. And I used these old things that I did my eye medicine from because they just work great as a color thing for background, especially blue. Okay, then to get this light behind the boat, and of course this is looking from the bottom of the ocean up, And so the sun is somewhere, or the sun is right here. And so then I take this Kleenex and absolutely took the paint off while it was wet. Before I did that, I put resist down on the areas that I wanted the fish. But the problem with this resist, which I don't use too often, which is kind of a gluey substance that will allow the paint to go smoothly in a wash, but isn't very, it isn't directly perfect. Therefore, for this book, I am using white, and I prefer the bleed-proof white, which is, this is Dr. Martin's. And then I have some gouache. And this is gouache that's made in Japan. I don't even know the name because on the paper it's all in Japanese.
Doesn't help, does it?
And I don't read Japanese. So, and then I start in, and I've got a few sharks and a few manta rays to do, and the boat, which I had only drawn, you know, a little bit of an outline. This is, you know, a very primitive boat that they would have made out of a tree in the primitive way of making a boat, because we're talking about thousands of years ago, and they had no nails or anything. So they would make a boat out of a tree or many in the way, and it would be very rough, and they would only be interested in the fact that it would not allow the water to come in. Oh, you know what? I've got a great trick to tell you. This is a baster for cooking. And I found that if I use this to transport my water into my paint, it is so much easier than using your brush. Or a bottle to spray bottle.
Sure.
And you can get these in different sizes, but this size is really good. This is an actual meat, and if I want to do a large thing, I will put the water in there.
That's a great idea.
You know, and I don't think anybody's ever thought of this
No,
idea.
that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, so that's really something, and you can get those on the internet easy, even if you don't cook. So then, I'm going to use some yellow, because I always start with the lighter color first.
I think one of the amazing parts about just you painting this painting at the moment is the fact that you've been a diver. You've even dived with Val and Ron Taylor from Australia. But the one thing I thought was extremely extraordinary is that you said that you were one of the very few people that's been down to the Titanic in the mere submersible. That's amazing. There's less people that have done that than gone to the moon, so I've heard.
First of all, I'm married to an adventurer, and he usually uses my birthday as a way of getting me to do these things.
Oh, okay.
So he said, because it's your birthday, I'm going to take you down to the Titanic.
Oh, goodness.
On the submersible, the Mirror. The Mirror is a 6-foot round sphere that is 3 people are in it, and we were there for 12 hours. And I thought, how am I going to handle this? Well, I decided that I was going to paint my whole way down and my whole way back, and that's exactly what I did. So I did a sketchbook that is on my website, and as a diver, for some people it's claustrophobic, but it was really fun. What was interesting about it to me, I, as a diver, thought that past 60 feet, there were no colors. And that's what I've been told, that the fish would have no colors. Well, they do have color. There was color.
It's just amazing. It's an incredible thing to actually do. But the fact that you paint it all the way down and all the way back again.
I paint any time.
Yeah.
Every time that I get a little bit nervous, I paint.
Good.
Painting is a kind of meditation for me. It's where I want to be in my life. It's really It's so much more than just creating a picture. It's a faith and religion, it's everything, but it's meditation.
So do you use the gouache a lot to overlay a lot of the watercolour that you do?
Not a lot, just in books, because it's different, but mostly I'm trying to use transparent watercolor in most of my work.
I think when I look at your work and just the history and the journey that you've taken, it really is a lot about the travels that you've had across the world. I love the Kachina dolls and the fantastic story that goes with them as well.
I love spiritual things, and Kachina dolls is the Hopi Indians. The men make the dolls for the little girls, and they make them 2 of them a year to teach them about the connection between the spiritual world and the real world, and also about the harvest and rain. Rain is really important. The other tribes make them too, but the Hopi is well known for them for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Gayle, well, you've started on the manta ray in the top corner, and I think the thing that you would notice about this particular piece is there's a vast empty area in the middle of the painting that you're working on, and that's for the book Earth Waves. And the reason being is that that's where the text has to go. Yes,
it has to go in the middle. Therefore, I have to use the outsides, unlike any other painting.
You've got 5 books illustrated and put out for publication. What's the motivation for the books?
You know, magic happens. I was at Chinatown many years ago, and I met this couple, Icy and Mike Smith, who own East West Discovery Press. And they asked me, they said, have you ever thought of illustrating children's books? And I said, no. First place, I've never thought about it. In second place, I've never taken a class in it. Well, they said, would you like to try? And you know what? I said, that would be really a good challenge. So the first book was Mei Ling in China City.
I'd also wanted to talk about, with obviously the extensive travels that you and Annette have had, is that the paintings that you do, there's some of them, there's one that's called Zulu Baskets, and there's also another one called the Chinese Dragon. And because of the amazing collection that you and Ed have been able to put together in the 55 wonderful years that you've been with each other, is that you're actually putting the actual Zulu baskets in with the paintings themselves, even with the Chinese ones that you did with the brushes. The whole combination of it is just magnificent. It's such a fantastic story there.
Well, it came to me as I am a collector that what about if people were able to touch the painting? And so having a collection and being able to put it onto the frame is a unique idea, and one that I could make happen. The Chinese calligraphy brushes were my first try at it. I had purchased these calligraphy brushes in the Beijing flea market, and I just loved them. And then I thought, well, what about if I put them on the painting and in the painting? Mm-hmm. So I did that for a show for East West Bank, and that was up for about a year.
And you were also the curator for 20 years of the Los Angeles Cathedral art event.
I do the other side of art. I've done several large art projects, public art, and I was lucky enough to be asked when the Cardinal was going to build the new cathedral 20 years ago now, to be part of the art committee to choose the artists for the LA Cathedral. You know, I do a lot of different things, anything that really interests me. This year I did a stained glass rose window for a Catholic church and love the process of it. So I just keep moving and doing interesting things, whether it takes me a distance away or not.
You also have the Roski School of Art and Design named after you. It doesn't get much better than that, really, does it?
It's a wonderful art school. It was just declared design-wise, it's the second in the country.
Wow.
And art-wise, it's the fifth, and that just came out this week.
That's fantastic, absolutely. So, the California Art Club, you are a signature member.
Mm-hmm, I am. It is the oldest art club in California it is. It was founded by William Wendt and Guy Rose. Its focus is traditional art, and plein air is a part of that. It's so much fun to do plein air art with other plein air artists, going out and trying to capture an area. It's just a wonderful group. They have a gold medal show every year, of which the best art gets in. They've done 2 books now on they have a new one coming out on the coastline, on the California coastline.
So your work is incredibly detailed in many ways, and apart from all of the other things that you do, but there was one that I thought was quite humorous, and it's a picture of the Mona Lisa with the title Mona Who, and everybody seems to have a cell phone in their hand. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was in Paris and I went to the Louvre and I was shocked to see all of these people with their cell phones taking their own picture with the Mona Lisa. And I mean, this wasn't 1 or 2 people, this was 300 people at least. So I thought, well, I think it deserves a painting to do a painting of the Mona Lisa being of today.
Yeah.
And that is what that's about. American Pharoah won the Triple Crown last year.
Yeah.
And when I was at Santa Anita, the same thing happened. The people were all taking cell phones of themselves with American Pharoah in the background. So that's where it started from. Then in the United States, the Pope came, and on television in the news I saw the Pope, instead of having his ring kissed or blessing or people asking for the blessing, they were doing their cell phone. And I thought, wow, is that a sign of the times? You know, in my generation, that never would have happened.
Yeah.
And so I thought I had to paint it.
You've painted a number of horses across the time. You've obviously enjoyed doing those as well.
I love to paint horses, and I've painted a lot for the different racetracks, but I've also painted for the Autry Museum and did horses for them. Horses are just, they have personalities and they're wonderful.
They are magnificent animals. Now, Gayle, if anybody wants to see all of your amazing artwork and the books that you've published, and I would really recommend people going in and just looking at the adventurous life that this woman has had, because it really is quite extraordinary, the things that she's done, and still doing them to this day. What is your website address?
My website is GayleGarnerRoski.com.
So my suggestion would be to pop into Gayle's website and sign up for her social media network, just to see what this lady is doing, because it really is an ongoing adventure, and her work is changing all the time. She has new ideas, and just the places that she goes to and the things that she does, I think, are pretty fascinating, and she paints all of that as she goes along. So I would suggest you go in and have a look at what she's up to. So tell me a bit more about the LA Millennium series you did in Los Angeles in 2000, because I think it's a very important collection that you have in your home, and it's a magnificent collection too.
I am a native of Los Angeles. I love my city. I was asked to do this series for the art building down in downtown Los Angeles. I started out with Celebration, with the City Hall and fireworks, and then I worked on the things that I was the most interested in my life in my city. My husband built Staples Center, so I did Staples Center. I love the LA Library. I love the buildings of Los Angeles. I did Chinatown. I did Japanese Town. We are a very diverse city, and I love every bit of it. I am still doing the LA series, and it's been 17 years, and I've done 25. And hopefully by 2020, I will have finished all that I wanted to do of it and do a book of it. So that's my goal. I do prints of it, and I have some originals, so it's fun.
That's an amazing story, absolutely. So it's been a fantastic day with you today, Gayle. I mean, your stories are amazing, and to the extent that here we are in Los Angeles, and you actually own Frank Sinatra's old home, which is now yours.
Right. Well, the history of this house, which was in the Purple Diaries that was written last year, is about Mary Astor and her diaries that she wrote. And most of it has to do with this house. And then Frank Sinatra and Nancy bought it and raised their children here. And then Bobby Darin and Sandra Dee bought it, and we bought it from them in 1969. And I have been here for nearly 50 years, and will never never move, and I love this home.
It's a fantastic and beautiful, beautiful home. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay guys, well we have had an absolutely fantastic day with an amazing woman. Your journey of life has been quite extraordinary. And just going through Gayle's home and seeing the places that you've been and the things that you've done, which is a reflection of your work and who you are as a human being, has been absolutely fascinating. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
For having us in your beautiful home, and we've had an amazing time. It wasn't so much of a show of techniques, I don't think. I think for me anyway, particularly with Gayle, it was about a journey of a very fascinating human being that makes fantastically beautiful art all over the world, and expresses it in a way that I haven't seen before, which I think was just wonderful. Your website address again is?
GayleGarnerRoski.com.
We'll get that right underneath, don't worry about that. And also come in and see us on our social networking, because I can assure you that Gayle will be up for a long time. I would very much like to follow your travels anyway, because I know that you're going somewhere else and you're going to be painting when you go there for a start.
Yes, always.
I think it'll be fantastic. YouTube as well, of course, and come and see us at colourinayourlife.com.au. It has been a pleasure. Original LA girl, and this is your home, and it's a fantastic place to be. But we've had a great time. And until we see you guys again, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life. And thank you. See you again, guys. Bye now.